Hi, and welcome to episode 2 of M1 Yarns and the Michigan Makers podcast. I'm Jamie. I'm also known as M1 Yarns, which is my hand-dyed yarn business. You can find me as M1 Yarns on Instagram, Facebook, Ravelry, and that is the name of my Etsy shop. And I am here not exactly with my co-host Danielle, but kind of. Hi Danielle. If you're watching this in real time, which is today is April 16th, 2020, we are in the middle of coronavirus. If you're watching this in the future, just Google how 2020 went completely wrong, and it'll explain why Danielle is here and not here. So since we're doing social distancing, and a month had gone by since our first episode of the podcast, I didn't want too much time to go by without giving you guys some crafty entertainment. And so although I can't have Danielle come over for the safety of both of our families and friends and all that, social distancing mumbo jumbo, we agreed that I would kind of do like a little mini podcast, albeit not nearly as entertaining as it would be if she were here. So, let's see, without further ado, what other housekeeping do I need to take care of? Well, let's just cheers. Thank you for joining me. Actually, today is a special day because it is my 39th birthday, my last year of my 30s, and I had been meaning to podcast for a few days, and things had just been kind of scattered for me. And then I thought about it and I said, well, I can't spend my birthday with my friends. Let's spend my birthday with my friends. So if you want to hit pause right here, get whatever beverage, yes, my glass does say Jamie on it. Get whatever beverage you'd like. No judgment. It is not even noon, but I won't tell if you won't tell. I'm Irish after all. Anyway, let's see. What do we have to talk about? Whips. I'm going to insert some photos from Danielle if she sends me some whips. I know she's got a few whips going on. The Wave of Change jacket or cardigan by Denise Byron. I totally butchered that. I can't roll my R's, but it's a beautiful piece. Danielle's done a really beautiful job knitting it. I've been watching her as she takes frequent photos as progress goes on. So I'll try to insert that here. I know she's also working on some socks. She did finish, let's see here. Sorry, I'm working off my notes. The First Watch Peacoat, which was by Marie Green of Olive Knits, and she used Cascade Aran Splatter in dried flower colorway, and she chose the cutest buttons, don't you think? I'm just going to try to insert a photo. Danielle and I actually recently knit the My Little Secret Crop Top by Jessie May, and I'm going to hold mine up here. I made mine extra long to make it like a waist length tank. I'll insert a photo here of a photo I took when I went outside to do some finished object photos. That was really fun. And as you can see, mine is like a little marled situation. This is my Hot Rod yarn base, which has some stellina in it, and I knit it holding these two yarns held together. You can see how much gorgeous sparkle is in there. And I love how these two strands held together throughout created this almost like, seaweed kind of vibe. I love blues and greens. So that was a really fun knit. I think I made this in like 3 days. I'll insert a photo here of Danielle's gorgeous version of the same pattern, which I just adore all of Jessie May's patterns. Danielle used, I can't read my handwriting. This is atrocious. So yarn by So Happy Jane. So let's see what else. Oh, what am I wearing? This is my Redy sweater, R-E-D-Y by Anka Strick. last time I podcast with Danielle, we were talking about like whips and what we were going to cast on, and I had really been wanting to cast on the Daydreamer sweater ever since I saw it at Rhinebeck last year. I forget what booth had it, but they had a sample in like a color similar to this, and I was like, I need that. Well, I cast it on probably the first week we were on the stay home order here in Michigan, and it was not working for my brain. The bobbles, the cables, it was too stressful. And after about 2 inches knitting flat, I was like, forget it. Right now, knitting is supposed to be therapy. And so I ripped it out. I went back to my Ravelry queue. I knew I wanted to use this yarn, which is Cece's Wool Yarn Baby in fingering weight. And then a mohair called Wolke, W-O-L-K-E, by Periwinkle Sheep. So check them both out on Instagram. So anyway, I looked at my Ravelry queue and I said, what is in the round? Pretty simple. And basically what I need right now instead of cables and bobbles and whatnot. And I knit this sweater. I will insert a photo here, a finished object photo, because it kind of drapes weird and it's hard to show you the whole situation here. Let's see. If you're hearing weird noise, my dog just came in the room. Let's see what else. Whips. Oh, so those were really finished objects. I said whips, but you catch my drift. So Danielle, like I said, has socks. I think she's working on The Weekender by Andrea Mowry, and she has her Wave of Change cardigan. I just cast on the other day Jessie May's Ripple Bralette DK in some yak merino silk yarn that I just dyed for myself. This is the ball. Here, this is a full skein so you can kind of see. This is my colorway Tunisian Desert, which I've dyed on a few different bases in the shop, and I love how it looks different on different bases. The yak is like a grayish tan base rather than like your traditional kind of cream base. And so it really kind of gave it a different vibe, and I could not be happier with this yarn. And I dyed up enough, side note, to knit the bralette, which I'm, again, going to make like a tank top length because I just feel like that's more my style. And I dyed up enough to make a pair of butt shorts to go with. Rumor has it, so Jessie May, who's one of my favorite knitting designers, has said all along that she was going to release the pattern tomorrow, which I was like, okay, I'm going to knit these as my birthday gift for myself, especially since we're staying home and basically not wearing real clothes. So loungewear would be perfect. But then I saw that she might be releasing the pattern tonight at midnight. Not that I'm going to stay up till midnight to get it, but I don't think casting on a pattern at midnight is a really good idea. Just going to put that out there. So that's one of my whips. Last time I talked about the grandson cardigan by Josh Bennett that I'm knitting for my husband. He asked for it and he doesn't remember. And every time he sees me knitting it, he doesn't remember. So this is one of the front panels, and obviously lots of cabling, and there's increasing, and the chart just throws you off. I can only knit this when I'm like in the right frame of mind. But I got my Cable Mojo back the other day, and so I made some good progress on this. That's going on. And let me talk about frogging for a second. You know, by and large, I don't like to frog. I will, if I can, you know, ladder down to fix something. Sorry, a little thirsty. But, oh my God, it's snowing out. We're going to get back to that topic in a minute. My friend Natalie of Detroit Knots, if you don't follow her, go follow her on Instagram. It's Detroit Knots. K-N-O-T-S. She is like very pro frogging. If you're not happy with the drape or the stitch or whatever element, or you make a mistake, don't hate the finished product because of whatever of that element is going on, rip it out, fix it, and, you know, it's worth the time. Well, that's not usually my MO. It really pains me to rip out, you know, hours of work. But I was working on the Comfort Fade Cardi, I want to say, by, my hair is doing a really weird thing, so just bear with, all of our hair is doing a weird thing, by Andrea Mowry, and I hated, it just wasn't, it wasn't the right yarn, it wasn't the right pattern, it was flat, which I don't like knitting flat. I had basically knit the whole body of the cardigan except like a collar thing that goes all the way around. And I had started knitting the first sleeve in the round. So I was like, cool, I'm grooving on, you know, knitting in the round now. And the more I looked at it, the more I hated it. And I thought, this was a cardigan that I specifically wanted to knit to wear around the house while knitting or lounging or whatever. And I just hated it. And it was months of work. I mean, probably 40 hours. And I ripped it out and I said, you know what? I'm going to put this yarn to better use in another project, which when I come back to that and I have it in progress, I'll speak to that because it's something really exciting. But so I just wanted to say, I encourage you. I learned from Natalie, who instilled in me that it's okay to frog. Frogging is just as much progress as knitting or crocheting because you really want your final product to be good. So that felt good and it freed up my time to work on all these other projects, which I'm loving. Let's see what else. Speaking of snow, so that was something I wanted to talk about. While we're all home, and I'm sure a lot of us are busy as ever because we're working from home and homeschooling our kids and trying to knit and trying to keep up on podcasts and Netflix shows and all that good stuff. Some of us are genuinely bored. I'm really not. I will find something to do. But one thing that I did the other day that is generally on my spring cleaning list is, so we live in a house where the closets are kind of funky and I have too many clothes. So I split my wardrobe. Spring and summer, fall and winter. And April 1st and October 1st, I swapped things out, although there's a lot of overlap. And I hadn't done that like I normally do, kind of OCD. But finally I said, you know, it was 70 degrees out the other week. Let me get on with that. And part of that is taking all my knits, hand washing them, and then, you know, laying them flat to dry, packing them away. And I know some people never wash their knits, and that's really kind of gross. I think there's such good products out there, and hand washing your knits is super easy. Excuse me one second. I use either Soak product, which you can buy at a lot of yarn shops, or Eucalan, I like this Rapture scent. Eucalan's really cool because, especially for like your wools, it has lanolin in it that will enrich the fabric and kind of restore some of the original qualities. So on that note, if you don't have this, or you don't have some sort of knitting or crochet tool, I just want to go out there and say, I know it's easy to order from Amazon right now, which a lot of the times ordering from Amazon does mean that you're buying from a small business. But if you can, I highly encourage you to shop your local yarn shop. For me, one of my favorite local yarn shops, or a couple of mine that are not local to me, is that I love ordering from and just generally supporting, whether it's social media or not. Brooklyn General and Strengthening Studio, both in New York. Lovely owners. In Chicago, I love Nina Chicago or Sister Art Studio. So I think a lot of yarn shops, you know, while all of us as small business owners are filling orders online, we're doing what we can to help the community and help ourselves by, you know, social distancing and all that. It's really important in the economy to support small business. So rather than buying these things on a more commercial level, you know, if you don't have a local yarn shop, you know, seek out one like the few I mentioned and see if they'll ship it to you, which I'm sure they would be happy to do so. So I encourage you, wash your knits, pack up your winter knits, or most of them, some of your heavier ones that you're not going to wear now. And since it's snowing today, the fact that I'm wearing a wool and mohair sweater is perfect, although I'm not leaving the house today. What else was I going to talk about? Let's see. It is eerily quiet in the house. My husband's a first responder, and so he's working. So I've got the house all to myself today. The dogs are napping. It is a peaceful day. After this, I'm going to go knit and Netflix. Although, you know, when it's your birthday, your phone is just blowing up. I love it. So hopefully I don't get any interruptions while recording this since I'm on my phone. Speaking of coronavirus fallout, just an FYI, 2 of the events that I was scheduled to vend at have been canceled. So if you follow me or had heard me mention before, I just want to let you know these, which I always put out important news on my newsletter. So if you don't already get my newsletter, please go to my Instagram account, follow there, and then in my link tree, there's a button for stay connected. And that's the best way to get like really important dates, including my brunch series, which once this coronavirus pandemic thing is over and it's safe to congregate again, I really do plan on hosting another brunch get together here in Metro Detroit. So stay tuned for that. But the Crafting with Grace show in Ann Arbor that I was vending at in late April got canceled. No surprise there. Tip of the Mitt in Petoskey, Michigan, which was the first weekend in June, just got canceled. So that's a big bummer, but I think they're organizing a virtual yarn or fiber festival. So stay tuned for that, because that would be really great for all of us vendors to still be able to offer to you what we've been preparing for that festival. The Michigan Fiber Festival, which is in Allegan at the Allegan County Fairgrounds in mid-August, as far as I know, is still on, and I plan to vend there. So stay tuned for that. Speaking of gatherings that we can do, Danielle and I hosted a virtual knit night on Zoom maybe a week or so ago, and I think we're going to try to do that again. So again, follow both of us on Instagram. Danielle is Danielle Crafts 08, and we'll announce all the details. So we'd love to see you there. How's your beverage? Let's see what else. Oh, yeah. Shop update. Today, I added a new base to the shop. Excuse me while I get a couple skeins. I have a new fingering weight base. It's 80/20, and this was the first colorway I dyed on it. I don't think you can fully, there we go. You can't quite appreciate how cool this is. It looks better in person. I'm very critical though. This is called Podcast Party. This is the colorway. And it was inspired by the 2 sweaters that Danielle and I wore on the first episode of our podcast. Kind of fun, springy vibe here. So the base, 80/20, is fingering, and it is just super squishy. I love it. I have so many pattern ideas that I want to make with it. I've got a bunch of colors in the shop and a bunch more coming in the shop, but I had a few others I wanted to share. This is a new colorway to the M1 Yarn Shop, and it's called Wild Child. And then this is Tunisian Desert, one of my like go-tos. And I've got some staple solids, semi-solids, tonals, perfect for color work or whatever your heart desires. So that's new to the shop. That's the base is called Lean Mean Machine, if I did not already say that. Lean Mean Machine. And then I just realized I forgot to get down another base that I wanted to show you. Bear with me. Sorry. I'm probably getting some weird views. I'll just get down a few. And then maybe a week or so ago, I added another base to the shop. And this is called Speedway. It's an Aran Weight Superwash Merino. And it is squishy, squishy, squishy. This is the wine colorway, which I absolutely adore. A girlfriend of mine talks about this nonstop and wants it on everything. Such a classic color. This was a fun thing I dyed up on the Speedway base. This is called Party in the Desert. This is a spin-off of my Tunisian Desert colorway, which is this. And I just did it a little bit more white incorporated to give it a brighter effect and some more I don't know, just a little different spin. So Party in the Desert. And so this Aran base, here's a Silver Fox on it, is just such a good color work. My favorite Aran Weight sweater, which I knit before, I wonder if I can show this to you, is the As If Tee by Knit and Crochet. And I made a kit for Danielle last year using these bases. So it was the Superwash Aran and Mohair Silk. So if you're not familiar with that pattern, it's really cute. It's got a sweetheart neckline where up here is an illusion of a layer of mohair, and then the body is the Superwash Merino, and then it's got tiny little sleeves, sleeve caps. Super fun to knit. Highly recommend. So if you want a kit of that, something pairing these would be really fun. You could even do a contrast color. Let's see. Bear with me. I don't know, we got options. So yeah, new shop bases are always really fun. So I've been busy doing that. And let's see, what else have I been doing? I don't know, keeping busy, trying to keep my mind occupied. I painted a bathroom. That was successful. Watched a lot of Netflix. I hope you all are doing well. Really, truly, I wish you all health and safety and mental health during this. A big shout out to the first responders, the grocery store workers, the nurses and doctors, and all the food workers, everyone who is keeping the world mostly functional. Thank you. I really, truly can't wait to get back together with all my knitting friends and my fiber friends, and I just wanted to give you guys a little bit of entertainment today. So on that note, I'm going to go knit and Netflix. So thanks for joining me. Again, this is M1 Yarns and the Michigan Makers, and hopefully next time there'll be some Michigan Makers with me. I look forward to chatting more. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Bye!